Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Gearing back for the second half of your lesson for 4.03, Part 2. As we get started, I want you to pause, make sure you have your materials, your ELA workbook packet, your blank paper, and pencil, just in case we need those as we go, and open your buzz to Lesson 4.03. Okay, so our objectives are the same as yesterday's video. Long and short vowel sounds we've been working on. Blends to create words. We're working on text features and writing an informative text. And capitalizing proper nouns for names of people. All right, so to real quick review from yesterday, just because it's a hard skill to master, let's look at our silent letters that we don't hear when we have them in words. So let's look at our picture and figure out if we can figure out the two missing, or the missing letters, there might be more than two, for each word using what we know about our letter sounds. Okay, so this arrow is pointing to the wrist. Okay, we were working on what two letters have the sound with a silent letter in the front. Do you remember? I hope you said WR, because that sound is just with the silent W. All right, down here we have a sign. Do you remember what two letters went together and had one silent letter and then we just heard N? All right, I hope you remembered that it was G and N that says N with the silent G. Now the letter we would be missing before that would be what? Ein. Hopefully you heard that long vowel I. Good. Okay, now over here we have a body part again, our knee. What two letters make the N sound with a silent letter at the beginning? Hopefully you remember it was silent K and then N-E-E, knee. Okay, last picture we have is a comb. Do you remember, well, first off, what long vowel do you hear? Comb, O. So let's fill in our vowel there is comb. Now, do you remember what two letters had, one of them was silent and the only thing we hear is Hopefully you remember our MB pair. That is how we spell comb. All right, boys and girls, good review. Thank you for doing that with me. Now let's get started on today's topics with looking at Buzz Slide 8 together. You don't need to pull it up on your screen, you can just watch mine. Okay, so on Buzz Slide 8, we are getting into our writing workshop. And so our grammar for this week is working on proper and common nouns. So when we say common nouns, that refers to people, animals, places, and things that are not specific and are not capitalized. So if we look at our examples here, we have turtle, treehouse, boy, and pineapple. Those are all common nouns. Now, proper nouns are very special nouns that name people, places, things that are specific and they have capital letters. For example, grandma is a common noun because it is a word that can refer to all grandmas. Grandma Jean is a proper noun that names a specific person. So the Hubble Space Telescope is the name of a specific telescope, so it gets to be capitalized too. And you read about that yesterday in our Buzz story. So let's go ahead and try a little activity with that. So here we are missing some capital letters, or some letters, and so we're going to figure out what we're missing. The blank blank is the name of a very special group of stars on the map. So it's the name of a special group of stars. So do you think we would do capital B or lowercase b if it's a special name? I hope you said capital B, and it's the big. Now the other part of this word is dipper, but we need to decide would it be capital D or lowercase d? Good job, capital D. So our proper noun, Big Dipper, is the name of a special group of stars. Okay, let's go on to our next one. Gabrielle wants to label some regular blank that do not have a special name. So if they're regular stars, no special name, would it be capital S or lowercase s? Lowercase, that's correct. Good job. Now, one more practice before we go back to our slideshow. Okay, so Gabrielle wants to label another special star that has a fancy name, blank. So, would we use a capital Z or a lowercase z for a special name, Zosma? Hopefully you said capital because it says special name, and that is correct. Okay. All right, let's practice that a little in our slideshow here. So we have some sentences, but we are missing some capital letters for proper nouns. Okay, this sentence, first one says, Neil Armstrong was an astronaut. What do we know about people's names? I hope you know that they start with capital letters. So we would need capital N instead of lowercase n. We also need to capitalize people's last names, so we would have capital A as well. Neil was the first man on the moon. Oh, Neil again. We need a capital N. And it starts the sentence there. We always have a capital to start our sentence. Albert was the first monkey in space. Is that a special name of a monkey? It is. Capital A. Good job, boys and girls. Okay, and last sentence. Leica was the first dog in space. So Leica is the special name of a dog. All right, good work. Okay, so on to some of our writing. We have been working on informative writing. And one thing you have to have in informative writing is a topic sentence. So let's look at our mini paragraph over here and figure out if we can figure out which one is the topic sentence. So listen as I read it out loud. Scientists study the planet Mars. They learned that Mars has red dirt and rocks. Mars is the planet most like Earth. Scientists want to learn more about Mars. So I want you to think in your head, which one of these sentences gives our topic for the rest of the facts that come? I hope that you noticed it was our first sentence. So our first sentence here, scientists study the planet Mars, is what the rest of our paragraph is about. Because after we give our topic, then we talk about all of the things that they learned about Mars. They learned that Mars has red dirt and rocks, Mars is the planet most like Earth, and that they want to learn more about Mars. Good job. So to finish our lesson, we're going to look at slides 9 and 10 together, and then you're going to get started on some of your assignments for the end of this lesson. Okay, so in your last couple lessons, you have been writing about volcanoes, and you should have your graphic organizer done, and then your sloppy copy that you wrote about volcanoes. And now it's time to make changes to your sloppy copy, and create your clean copy. So let's look over a writer's checklist here for cleaning our sloppy copy. All right, so we have first thing that you need to do. Each sentence begins with a capital letter. That is very important in all of your writing. So you need to check your sloppy copy and see if each sentence begins with a capital letter. The next thing you need to do is check, are there spaces between my words? Finger spaces are so important. Are proper nouns starting with a capital letter? And we just learned about proper nouns again today. So check that to make sure they start with capital letters. Does each sentence end with a period, exclamation point, or a question mark? Punctuation is so important. Are your words spelled using the sounds you know? And do you have adjectives that help explain key details better? Remember, adjectives can also be remembered as sparkle words because they make our writing more interesting. So they are very important. All right, so our last thing that you're going to be doing with your volcano paper is you're going to be writing your clean copy. So go through your sloppy copy and use your pencil to make any changes on there that you need to before you copy it onto your clean copy. So if we wanted to see an example of a sloppy copy versus a clean copy here. So this is a sloppy copy. Volcanoes can be asleep or awake. Do you see right there where they have or awake squished together? We don't want our words squished together, so we would definitely want to fix that. Sleeping volcanoes are not hot. Now we have random capital letters on not and hot, but those are not special names of places or people, so we would want to fix that. Awake volcanoes can erupt. Volcanoes underwater can make an island. So we've got some issues with our punctuation there. 2 periods there, no period at the end. So we really want to check those sentences and then write our clean copy. So over here we have a title. Your clean copy should have a title. Always title your work, your writing. Amazing volcanoes. Volcanoes can be asleep or awake. And they have spaces, capitals, punctuation. Sleeping volcanoes are not hot. Awake volcanoes erupt gas and lava. Volcanoes underwater can make a new island. So there is our final copy of that. And you are going to work on yours now. So you're going to want to get out your sloppy copy. And you're going to probably want to pause the video here or pull up your Buzz. Either way, you can look on Buzz slide 10 to remind you what you are looking for as you clean up your sloppy copy and write your clean copy. That is part of the writing process, and it's so important for us to learn how to do that. So make sure you're following the steps that we talked about. Capital letters, spaces between words, each sentence ends with punctuation, words are spelled using the sounds you know, and adjectives are used to make your writing more interesting. When you finish, share your clean copy with someone in your house, family member or friend who you can teach about volcanoes. And for the last step of this lesson, you do need to get on Buzz and take the quiz. Once you're done writing your clean copy, you need to take the 4.03 quiz to make sure you understood everything we talked about in this lesson and yesterday's lesson. Well, thank you, boys and girls. I had so much fun working with you, and I hope that you are able to get this done today without any problems. Thanks.